Needlework is decorative sewing and textile arts handicrafts. Anything that uses a needle for construction can be called needlework. Needlework may include related textile crafts, such as crochet, worked with a hook, or tatting, worked with a shuttle. Similar abilities often transfer well between different varieties of needlework, such as fine motor skill and knowledge of textile fibers. Some of the same tools may be used in several different varieties of needlework. We are delighted to showcase 9 of our members' needlework as piece of art.
এই ছবিটি আমাদের ক্লাস 5-এর কিশলয় বইয়ে ছিল। এটিকে একটি সাদা লং ক্লথের উপর কাশ্মীরি স্টিচের সাহায্যে রূপ দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করেছি। এটি 1966 বা 67 সালে তৈরি। পাখিটি একটি কাঠঠোকরা। মা সরস্বতীর ছবিটি সেলুলা কাপড়ের উপর ক্রস স্টিচের সাহায্যে রূপায়িত হয়েছে। আমার দিদিমার একটি ক্রস স্টিচের বই ছিল, সেটি দেখে করেছিলাম। অবসর সময়কে কাজে লাগানোর প্রচেষ্টা। এই ছবিটি একটি ক্যালেন্ডারে ছিল। এটি একটি লং ক্লথের উপর কাশ্মীরি স্টিচের সাহায্যে ফুটিয়ে তোলার চেষ্টা করেছি, ওই 6-এর দশকেই। এটি একটি পাখির ছবি। এটাও সেলুলা কাপড়ের উপর ক্রস স্টিচের সাহায্যে করা, সম্ভবত 7-এর দশকে। এটি একটি সাধারণ গায়ের শাল। কাজটির স্টিচের নাম জানি না, বাট কাশ্মীরি শালের উপর স্টিচের অনুকরণে করার চেষ্টা করেছি, সম্ভবত 8-এর দশকে।
আমি আমার অনেকগুলো ব্লাউজ পিস পরেছিল। তা সেই ব্লাউজ পিসের একটা দেখলাম একটু এই ক্রিম কালারের মতো একটা বড় ব্লাউজ পিস রয়েছে, অনেকগুলো হয়ে গেছে, কি করব। তা বসে বসে একটা ক্যালেন্ডার থেকে গণেশের ছবিটা এঁকে নিয়েছি ব্লাউজ পিসে। এঁকে তারপরে ঘরে তো বসেই থাকি, তখন এইটা গণেশটা আস্তে আস্তে সেলাই করেছি। এটা হলো গণেশ। তারপরে রেখে দিয়েছিলাম, বৌমা আলমারিতে রেখে দিয়েছে। আবার বলে এখানে করেছে যখন কষ্ট করে, আলমারিতে ঢুকিয়ে রেখেছে কেন, বাইরে বার করে এইখানটায় রেখে দিয়েছে। এইটা হলো গণেশ। আমি যাদবপুরে থাকতাম। আমার হাজব্যান্ড পুলিশের চাকরি করতো। আমি যাদবপুরের ওখানে একটা সমিতিতে সেলাই শিখতাম। তার আগেই আমি এই ছবিটা এটা আমি তৈরি করেছি। একটা পাঞ্জাবি, পুরনো কোনা মানে হাজব্যান্ডের পাঞ্জাবি দিয়ে কাপড়টা কেটে আর ওই অ্যাঙ্কার সুতো দিয়ে নিজে নিজে এঁকে নিজে নিজে সেলাই করেছি। আর যখন লেডি ভবন ডিপ্লোমা পরীক্ষা দিই তখন একটা 10 ইঞ্চি বাই 16 ইঞ্চি কাঁথা স্টিচের সেলাই লাগবে, তখন আমি এইটাই দিয়েছিলাম। আমি 9 জনের মধ্যে আমি সেকেন্ড ডিভিশনে আমি সেকেন্ড ডিভিশনে আমি পাস করেছিলাম। এইটা হলো এইটারে আমি নিজে নিজে একে পুরনো পাঞ্জাবির কাপড়ে আমি করেছিলাম এটা। আমি ছোটোবেলার থেকেই খুব সেলাই ভালোবাসতাম। অনেককে প্রচুর সেলাই করে দিয়েছিস। আমি জীবনের স্কুলে পড়াশুনোয় কোনো দিন ফার্স্ট সেকেন্ড হইনি, কিন্তু সেলাইতে আমি ফার্স্ট হয়েছিলাম। এইখানে দমদমের একটা ভালো স্কুলে পড়তাম। আর আমার বিয়ে হওয়ার পর 65-এ আমি এই সেলাইটা পাঞ্জাবি ছিল, পুরনো পাঞ্জাবি দিয়ে ঘরে বসে থাকবো, পাঞ্জাবি দিয়ে ক্যালেন্ডার দিয়ে ছবিটা এঁকে আমি এই ছবিটা করেছি। 65 এইটা করেছি, এই রামকৃষ্ণদেব।
Did you know that the share of the Indian population over the age of 60 is projected to increase from 8% in 2015 to 19% in 2050? In fact, by the end of the century, it will go up to nearly 34% of the total population in the country. This is an inevitable and irreversible demographic reality, as improvements in health and medical care have led to increased longevity. The old age dependency in the population is gradually but consistently increasing, as there is a distinct demographic transition to increased lifespan and smaller families. Add to this the elderly's preference for aging in place. Migration of children due to professional requirements often sees the elderly living alone or only with the spouse. Through extensive research and personal interaction, we too found that the elder's own home is the strongest bond between them and their immediate socio-physical environment. However, the special needs of the elderly need to be addressed. Support Elders brings to the elderly a sustainable ecosystem by providing comprehensive support in the comfort of their own homes.
Daily evening calls, they are the ones. Any day I don't get a call from anybody. At least in the evening I do get the call from support elders. Somebody asks me, are you well? Have you eaten? Have you taken your medicines? So I feel that there is somebody watching over me.
We at Support Elders work towards enhancing the quality of life of elders. With our well-entrenched technology, team of ex-servicemen and state-of-the-art alarm centers, we provide 24/7 medical emergency services and 360-degree comprehensive at-home support to elders.
There was a crisis with my husband. He had to be admitted into hospital. So I just dialed the number, and within 20 minutes, the gentleman who answered the phone, he said, "Do you need an ambulance?" I said, "Yes." So he arranged an ambulance. He brought it. Within 20 minutes, he was here with the ambulance, and we were able to shift him to, to the hospital or whatever needed to be done. And then, so that was really very good. I was very thankful for that.
It's very peaceful to the mind. I really am always happy because I'm with you. I'm with Support Elders. That gives me a lot of peace in my mind.
We provide sophisticated, customized, technology-enabled solutions which include digital tracking and remote health monitoring, as well as regularly updating our members' kin or care sponsors.
The Support Elders Alarm Center team members spread across multiple cities are on high alert 24/7, as we are the first who receive information about members' medical emergencies. As soon as the alert button is pressed or we receive a call, we call them back to understand the whole situation, and simultaneously we track our caregiver nearest to the member's location.
Then, the Alarm Center team arranges for an ambulance if required, finds out the availability of beds in the member's preferred hospital, coordinates with all of them, and also updates the member's kin.
In case of emergency, I know someone is waiting for my call. So that feeling is very good.
All the ladies who stay alone, even not alone with husbands even, they should take this Support Elders membership, and they will definitely have better time, as I am having.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम प्रदीप कुमार सिंह है। मैं भारतीय सेना में 18 साल नौकरी करके रिटायर्ड हुआ। वहाँ से नौकरी छोड़ने के बाद मैंने सपोर्ट एल्डर ज्वाइन किया। हमारा काम यहाँ पे सपोर्ट एल्डर में है कि हमारे जो सीनियर सिटीजन्स हैं, जो हमारे एल्डर्स हैं, उन्हें सपोर्ट देना, मेडिकल इमरजेंसी में काम देना।
We could rely on him. We could rely on the support elders. That helped us a lot in my husband's getting the surgery done. He came. He took him at about 7 o'clock, and it took about the whole day, getting the dates, then the admission, taking him. Mr. Sinha from the support elders, he made sure that he never faced any inconvenience, and for that entire duration. That was a big help for us.
Social interaction and being connected is essential for mental well-being and cognitive fitness. So, we facilitate creative, cultural and educational pursuits to encourage our members to chase their cherished dreams, discover new passions, or just socialize and interact with others. These promote positive aging and help to keep dementia and loneliness and even depression at bay.
My parents are members of your extended family since last year. In the couple of instances where my father had to be hospitalized, we received extremely professional, prompt and very touching services from your team, and we are very grateful for that.
My name is Amit Kumar Datta. I joined Support Elders after completion of 16 years of service in Indian Army. The dedication and disciplined life of Indian Army helped me a lot to serve our elderly members. My enthusiasm, my spirit helped me a lot in several cases where I have to reach on time and save them.
I did not visit bank, ECHS, post office, even the mall. I never went out of the house. I stayed at home and they brought everything for me.
During this pandemic, when we are asked not to go out, and at the same time we need many things like ration, etc. So then she suggested that why don't you ask our support elders staff. I said normally they are not supposed to do these things, they are supposed to do medical things, but how can I ask them to buy groceries and all? But when I approached them, it was complied with, and we are practically very cozy with that arrangement, that whenever we required something, we said beforehand that this is the thing, tomorrow we may require. Even like milk, we got it. My son's in-laws are in Hyderabad. They have made them members from the USA itself.
We provide professional care with empathy and compassion. Serving elders since 2014, Support Elders is a trustworthy and reliable platform with a proven track record of consistent delivery and thoughtful service.
কাপড়টা অর্গানডির, সাদা পাতলা অর্গানডির কাপড়, তার উপরে এঁকে নিয়েছি। তারপর সবুজ রং আর নীল রঙের সুতো দিয়ে, অ্যাঙ্করের সুতো, তাই দিয়ে ক্রস স্টিচ শ্যাডো ওয়ার্ক করেছি পিছন দিকে। এটা সোজা দিক, সামনের দিক, পিছন দিকে ওই হেরিং বোন যাকে বলে সেই স্টিচটা দিয়েছি। তাতে এ পিঠে শ্যাডো ওয়ার্ক বলে এটাকে। এখানে সাদা ফুল ভয়েল কাপড়ের উপরে সোজা দিকে ওই শেড ওয়ার্কটাই করেছি, কিন্তু সোজা পিঠে করেছি। ক্রস স্টিচ মতো করে ঘুরিয়ে ঘুরিয়ে, যেটার নাম কি বোধহয় হেরিং বোন, ওইটা করে সোজা পিঠে রেখেছি। সমস্ত স্টিচটাই সোজা পিঠে। মাঝে মাঝে একটু বোধহয় এমব্রয়ডারিও আছে, দু একটা জায়গায় এমব্রয়ডারিও আছে। বেশিরভাগই শেড ওয়ার্কটা সোজা পিঠে ফুল ভয়েল কাপড়ের উপরে। এটা শাড়ির আঁচল, আর বর্ডারে ওই ডিজাইনটা আছে, সেটাকেই ঘুরিয়ে এইভাবে চৌকো করে আঁচলে দিয়েছি। আর এটা করতে সময় লেগেছে প্রায় 2 মাস। অল্প অল্প করে সারাদিন সকালবেলা উঠে একটু একটু করে করে শেষ করেছি। মোটা ভারী কেসমেট কাপড়ের উপরে ক্রচেটের সুতো দিয়ে, মোটা সুতো দিয়ে এমব্রয়ডারি করা এইসব, এই ডিজাইনটা সবুজে সাদা হলুদ রঙের কেসমেট কাপড়ের উপরে সবুজ সাদা অ্যাঙ্করের মোটা সুতো দিয়ে করেছি। আচ্ছা, এটা অ্যাঙ্করের সুতো, অ্যাঙ্করের কাপড়, সব অ্যাঙ্করের পাওয়া যায় কিনতে। ছবিটা আঁকাই ছিল, আঁকাই থাকে, শুধু সুতো দিয়ে। ওরা প্রচুর সুতো দেয় সব রঙের, রং কোথায় কী হবে তাও বলে দেয়, সেই ছবি দেখে দেখে আর ওই রঙিন সুতো দিয়ে করলেই হয়ে যাবে। আঁকা থাকে সমস্ত জিনিসটা। শ্যামবাজারে সম্রাট বলে একটা দোকান আছে, সেখানে কিনতে পাওয়া যায় এই কাপড়, মানে যার উপরে করা হবে, আর তার সঙ্গে সুতো ওরা দিয়ে দেবে একসাথে।
Good evening, friends. Support Elders is taking excellent steps to keep senior citizens contented and satisfied, so we don't feel lonely and uncared for. Today's program on needlework is a unique expression of the talents of senior citizens to inspire and motivate others to reboot their long forgotten hobbies. I have always been interested in needlework, knitting, crochet, and have developed these hobbies from a very young age. I grew up among the Punjabi women of Dehradun, where I would see them gathered in the angan and either knitting or producing umpteen pieces of cushion covers, tablecloths, runners, adorned with exquisite needlework. This was one some inspiration. My grandmother and mother too were expert needlewomen. Lately, my inspiration has been a student of mine who is not only a designer but is also a superlative artist conjoined with all kinds of needlework and runs a workshop of her own, employing a few karigars. My own creations here are a mix of katha and cross stitch, and the designs are mostly my own, but some picked from different books. My first piece is a katha titled Artist's Ash, Larger Than Life. You can see glimpses of Mondrian, Boccaccio, Picasso, to name a few, and all those abstractionists where humans become Lilliputians, yet it is the human brain that conceives these wonders. My second one is Nature's Rambles. I wandered in and out of a garden full of myriads of colorful flowers, picked one here and there and amalgamated them together. The best part was there was no tension of wrong counting or colors missed. I did it my own way, if you remember the old song. Number 3 was a design taken from Pinterest. This is a Buddha's hand, a blessing for the home where it adorns the walls. Number 4 was again a pick from an old Ondori book. Probably I was remembering the spires of Cambridge and Oxford. 5 is a mix of designs for cushions and an ideal way to get rid of my baskets full of anchor threads gathered in the course of my life's journey. The 6th piece is a fractal. Now this is a basic structure of a cell which comprises life. Only this structure has flowers in it. The designer here is Serena Williams. 7, 8 and 9 are a repetition of 5 singly. Number 10, the lotus, is the national flower. I did, however, struggle with the underwater coloration to get the exact depiction, and it took me a very long time. But the moment I broke water, it was easy going, just as it is for the human being. 11 and 12 are miniaturized pieces by 2.5 inches by 4 inches to be used as coasters. These designs were inspired from carpets. Number 13 is again a katha piece. Our grandmothers would put together old saris, pick out the threads from the colored borders, and make beautiful pieces of art. Times have changed. Katha continues to be a much feted form of art, used extensively in all kinds of garments, saris, bedspreads, and cushions. The materials used today are tussar, silk, and cotton. This particular piece is a population explosion on a zebra crossing. Number 14 started as urban chaos, but turned out to be a haven of peace in an urban setting. So these are my 14 pieces, and I'm sure you would like them, but my main motivation is to inspire some of you to pick up that needle and that piece of cloth and begin again where you left off. Thank you. These 14 pieces have been worked on over 2 years of the COVID lockdown.
We've been brought up in the railway colonies, and as children we have been playing boys and girls like mad in the evenings. Cricket, football, kick the can, chor police, etc. But by the time I was 12, 13, my mother and my grandmother thought, enough, now I should be groomed to be a little lady, young lady. So I was not allowed to go out, and the first thing she made me do was pick up needle and thread and stitch. And how I hated it. I just hated it. And this was especially when all the children are playing in the evening in the club or in the colony. But slowly, when I was 16, I won my first prize in needlework, and that was my turning point. After that, nobody has been able to stop me. I've done a lot of variety of stitching, craft work, handiwork, and these are some of the ones I am still doing. During my travels abroad, I picked up material for quilting. You get these material 25 inches by 25 inches, and I just had them lying around for the last 16 years, not having the guts to pick it up. My life had changed. I was living alone, and just 2 months back, I decided enough is enough. What will happen to all this material if I don't do something about it? So I just sat from morning till night, did not keep a maidservant, and just stitched very lovingly. And it was difficult because it was very colorful. So pairing them with needles and pins was time-taking and took a toll on my back, but I had to finish it. And you can see, after I finished it, I stitched it and then gave it to the tailor to give the lining, because I didn't want to kill myself or overstrain my back. And I have now presented this to my youngest son and daughter-in-law. Number 2, and as many others also, are all kits available abroad. So whenever I travel, I'm picking up these mainly for gifting. And this is a small picture, 10 inches by 8 inches. I like the theme. And as you know, the threads, it is printed and the threads are all supplied in the kit. Number 3 and 4 are the same dressing table. It's not a dressing table, it's a runner. It's a runner, again available in a kit for the chest of drawers or for the center table. And it has got a printed embroidery with long short and long stitches and cross stitch and satin stitch. The colors are provided and you just have to do it following the guide. Every picture, every kit has a graph and instructions. This pretty picture, number 6, caught my fancy years ago, and it was left in the bottom of the pile in my cupboard. Now my granddaughter was 9 years old, and she wants to be a little author. So I thought this was the perfect present for her. And when the lockdown started, that was the piece. It is very intricate, very fine cross stitch. But when the lockdown started, I just picked it up and finished it, framed it and gave it to her. She's delighted. She has it in her cupboard, in her study. Number 8 was a teddy bear Afghan, which I cross-stitched for my first grandchild. But I have 3 sons, and my daughters-in-law loved it so much that each of them wanted one. So I had to make the same thing 3 times for them. And the 4th was from the cover, which was very pretty, and I completed it. Number 9 is not cross-stitch. It is paper craft. You get these as kits. They are in 3-dimensional. So you have 3 copies of the same picture, 3 prints. And the thing is, you cut out each petal. It's on a little thickish paper. You cut out each petal, line the edge with the cut edge with sketch pen, then varnish the petal and twirl it round your finger just to give it a little curl, and paste it on the first picture. This is the second picture that we cut out, and the third picture again you cut it out and put it at a little more angle, 30 degrees, so you get a 3-dimensional effect. It is very pretty, and I really call it KG craft. It was done years ago in 84. Number 10, again, I got it as a present. I took it abroad. Usually when I go abroad, I go for 2 or 3 months and visit all my children. So that is my project when I'm left alone in the house. And it took me 2 trips. In one trip, I managed to do half the mockingbird picture, and in the second trip, I completed it. Number 11 is something very new. This was the first time I saw a printed picture to do on cross stitch. It came in a kit gifted to me by my school friend, and if you notice carefully, you will see that all the leaves are not covered. It's only highlighted. The ribbon of the dress, the bonnet, the lace, and just a few sprigs of leaves have been highlighted, and it's such a beautiful picture. This arrangement of fruits caught my fancy years ago in 1970, and I had it with me. You won't believe it has over 53 colors. I was quite intimidated by the kit that the shopkeeper only told me, "Madam, let's tackle one fruit at a time." So that's what I did. Each time I wanted to do one fruit, I took it to Bhawanipur and bought the threads there, came back, completed it, and went back to the next one. It's a prized possession of mine. Number 13 is a kit, and this is not in Ida cross stitch, but it's on linen. And it was very, very fine, tiny, tiny stitches. My mother told me, "Don't do it." I was then only 45. She says, "Don't do it. You'll kill your eyes. You'll spoil your eyes." But since my husband had brought it back for me from one of his travels, I had to complete it. It was very painstaking, but I have hung on to this picture. Usually I give away my pictures as gifts, but I have kept 1 or 2. And now at 77, I'm still stitching away. And I have so much pleasure.
এক নম্বরটা একটা বইয়ের থেকে ডিজাইনগুলো ছোট ছোট করে তুলে রেখেছিলাম। 2 নম্বরটা আমি যখন স্কুলে পড়ি তখন বানিয়েছিলাম। 3 নম্বরটা আমি এখন একজনকে দেওয়ার জন্য বানাচ্ছি। নম্বরটা 5 বছর আগে বানিয়েছিলাম। নম্বরটাও একটা বইয়ের থেকে ছোট ছোট ডিজাইন তুলে রেখেছি অন্য আসনে দেওয়ার জন্য।
Katha is a type of embroidery craft in the eastern regions of India, particularly in the Indian states of West Bengal, Tripura and Odisha, as well as in Bangladesh. In Odisha, all saris are stacked on each other and hand-stitched to make a thin piece of cushion. Katha saris are traditionally worn by women in Bengal region of the India. In these days, embroidery is stitched, popularly known as Katha stitched, on sari and many other garments, and gaining popularity due to their aesthetic value and handmade characteristics. Katha stitching is also used to make simple quilts, commonly known as Nakshi Katha. Women in Bengal typically use old saris and cloth and layer them with katha stitching to make a light blanket, throw, or bedspread, especially for children. Katha is very popular with tourists visiting the Bengal region of the Indian subcontinent. This is a katha sari. It took 2 long years to complete the sari. This is a katha stitched material in making. The design is first drawn on the cloth and then stitching is done with colored yarns. This is another katha or quilt.
Number 1. This is a katha stitch embroidered khadi tussar silk, conceptualized and done by me. The deer, the tree, the peacocks you can see are colorfully done with tiny katha stitches. Number 2, you can see Sri Krishna with his gopinis, kadam tree, and then the end portion of the pallav, which is only design and no other motifs. Number 3 is the 2 panels of the pallav done colorfully. Number 5 shows the border and the small flower motifs all over the sari. This is a Cotswool stole designed and embroidered by me. The chinar leaves are all done with tiny chain stitches. No other stitch has been used here. Number 10. This too is embroidered with Kashmiri stitch on my daughter's kurta. Number 11. A cluster of grapes embroidered with mainly satin stitch with touches of stem stitch. It is done with DMC shaded thread. Purpose, a small tray cover. First one, 2 panels done on a white apron with exclusively cross stitches.
আমি মিসেস শোভনা ভট্টাচার্য। 1 নম্বর অ্যাপ্লিক ওয়ার্ক। বড় কোনো কাপড়ের ওপর ছোট ছোট কিছু রঙের কাপড় বসিয়ে এই নকশা করা হয়। ছোট কাপড়গুলিতে ফুল পাতা নানা রকমের নকশা আঁকা হয়। নকশাটি বোতাম সেলাই দিয়ে করা হয়। নকশার বাইরে যে বাড়তি কাপড় থাকে তাকে ছোট কাঁচি দিয়ে সুন্দরভাবে কাটা হয়। যার হাতের কাজ যত সুন্দর তার নকশাও সেই রূপ নেয়। দ্বিতীয়টি ক্রস স্টিচ। চটের থলের মতন খোপ করা কিছু কাপড় থাকে। নকশা অনুযায়ী ঘর গুনে আড়াআড়িভাবে সুতো ফেলে এই সেলাই করতে হয়। ছোটবেলায় আমরা চটে প্রথম আসন সেলাই করেছি এই সেলাই দিয়ে। নানা রঙের সুতো দিয়ে আলপনার মতন দেখতে হতো আসনগুলো। 3 নম্বর শাটিন ও ডাল স্টিচ। শাটিন সেলাই ফুল বা পাতা ভরাটের কাজে ব্যবহার করা হয়। নানা রঙের সুতোর সাহায্যে এই সেলাই করা হয়। ডাল সেলাই সরু কোনো নকশা করতে গেলে ব্যবহার করা যায়। নকশা অনুযায়ী সুতোর রং ব্যবহার করলে এই সেলাই মনোরম হয়ে ওঠে। 4 নম্বর কাশ্মীরি স্টিচ। কাশ্মীরি সেলাই কাশ্মীর প্রদেশেই বহু প্রচলিত একটি সেলাই। এই সেলাই করতে নকশা অনুযায়ী নানা রঙের সুতো ব্যবহার করা হয়। এই সেলাইয়ের সুতো নকশার উপর দিকে বেশি থাকে। এই সুতোটিকে ছোট একটি ফোঁড় বা সেলাইয়ের দ্বারা বাঁধা হয়। পেছনের দিকে এই সেলাইয়ের সুতো কম অংশ দেখা যায়। এটা একটি সূক্ষ্ম এবং অতি কঠিন সেলাই। 5 নম্বর গুজরাটি স্টিচ। গুজরাট প্রদেশেই এই সেলাইয়ের জন্ম। এই সেলাই অন্য সব সেলাই বা ফোঁড়ের থেকে আলাদা। 4 কোণ খোপ করে এর নকশা আঁকা হয়। প্রথম যে সুতোটা কাপড়ের ওপর ফোঁড় দেয়া হয় তার উপর দিয়ে অন্য দিকের সুতোগুলো নিয়ে যেতে হয়। খোপগুলি একটি জালের মতন দেখতে হয়। গুজরাটি সেলাইয়ের মাঝে যদি কাঁচ বসানো হয় তাকে কাথিয়াওয়াড়ি সেলাই বলে। 6 নম্বর কাঁথা স্টিচ। এই সেলাইটি আদিকাল থেকে সবাই বিভিন্ন কাজে ব্যবহার করে এসেছে। কোনো কাপড় বা জামা ছিঁড়ে গেলে প্রথমে এই রান সেলাই দিয়েই সেটিকে জোড়া লাগানো হয়। আমরা যারা সেলাই ভালোবাসি তার এই সেলাইটিকে বিভিন্ন নকশার মাধ্যমে কাপড় ও ছোটদের কাঁথা ও বিভিন্ন সময় নিজের প্রয়োজনে ব্যবহার করে তার আলাদা আলাদা রূপ দেওয়ার চেষ্টা করেছি। এটি অতি প্রাচীন সেলাই।
Thank you ever so much for spending your time with us. We hope you have enjoyed watching the program. Before we say bye-bye, we have a little request. Please spend a second to click on the subscribe button. No, this is not a financial subscription. It only means that you have seen and liked the program and subscribing to this channel so that you can watch many more such programs that we intend to bring to you. Thank you once again.